Hello. Today is Wednesday, November the 19th, 2014. The synthetic telepathy implant technology that's being utilized by secret intelligence and the government. This was brought forward by Vice President Biden when he addressed Congress about the fact that they would be ruling on using brain scan technology. So the government is aware of the technology, and they do have monitors that access the implant and try to validate the thoughts of an individual or determine if that individual is truly being attacked by anybody. However, the secret intelligence had this technology long before they gave it to the government, and they actually found a way to access the technology through a back door, which allows them to access an implant that's in a person's mind without the government knowing that somebody else is accessing the implant. Possibly they're piggybacking on their signal when the government accesses the person's implant. And then they can effectively push thoughts into the person's mind, which would throw the government monitor off as far as their opinion or decisions on the thoughts of that individual. So in other words, a way to manipulate a person's thoughts right at the precise moment that they're being monitored by somebody who's trying to determine if that person's good or bad. And this can literally allow those people to stop receiving support from any government agencies or from the government agency that's using this technology to monitor people. In my particular case, what happened was a police officer pulled me over, and it was clear by his actions that it was premeditated. He was waiting for me. Now, my thoughts hadn't really dwelled on that until the other evening. Then while I was standing out holding my sign in the evening in front of Exxon, suddenly my thoughts were very clear, and the thought came into my mind that that officer had been asked to do this by somebody else. So I was thinking that officer had to have been asked to do this by somebody else because he was waiting for me. It was premeditated, and that's entrapment. However, while I was thinking that, I realized I was being monitored, but I didn't realize that somebody else was pushing the thoughts into my mind at that particular moment. So it's also possible that this officer had overheard somebody else talking about my case, and that they well, for whatever reason, he decided to come and wait. And again, it was still premeditated either way, but not necessarily somebody physically came and asked him, or somebody could have accessed his implant without anybody knowing that they had done this, because it won't set off any alarms when they use this back door to access the implant and push the thoughts into this officer's mind. So there'll be no evidence that the officer was pushed into doing this, or that the implant was accessed, because the secret intelligence have a way to do this. It is a technology. It can be hacked, and they have found a way. They chose to do this long before they agreed to give the technology to the government, because they wanted a way to manipulate what the government did. Even though the government had this technology, they said, we want a way to be able to access a person's thoughts and push thoughts into their mind without the government knowing that we're doing it. That way, if we want somebody removed or stop them from getting support, we can cause that to happen. So I just wanted to make a video about that so that the government is aware that these individuals, these corrupt individuals, these criminals and murderers do still have a way to access the implant technology and push thoughts into people's minds and throw you off track. Please be aware of that. Thank you for watching.